this is interesting. Blake Lively is trying to do exactly what Ryan Reynolds just did. She's trying to get out of this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. You can't make this up.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? Yes, guys, we're back on the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively situation. My Lord, it never stops. It just keeps on rolling. Now we're getting more information about her actually doing what Ryan Reynolds did. Ryan Reynolds filed basically saying, hey, he put out a motion to try to get himself removed from this lawsuit because he basically said, hey, it's my constitutional right as an American. Well, actually, he's Canadian. Ain't he Canadian? Yeah, but anyway, an American citizen or something, that it's my First Amendment right? To express my feelings or say what I want to say, make jokes and all that stuff, right? And then he also said that Justin Baldoni is thin-skinned. He ain't got he yellow belly, okay? That's basically what he said. He ain't got no spine. Well, Blake Lively now is saying basically, no, she's not saying that, but she is basically saying she wants out of this lawsuit too because she believes that his lawsuit was made out of revenge. I feel like I should hit feels fitting. Doesn't it feel raw? Out of revenge, guys, out of retaliation because of the lawsuit that she put out. Let's not forget, it was her, and then he came out with his lawsuit, okay? And to me, I look at this and I go, well, if he went through some things that were not right and there was defamation and all that stuff, then he has grounds to do that. That's just what I see, okay? And if he really did SH her, make a very volatile work environment and all that stuff, and those things were ignored by the powers that be for this movie, then yeah, I get the lawsuit being dropped on Justin Baldoni too. Again, there needs to be proof of innocence, right? Proof of guilt, at least, as well, right? But anyway, let's get into this article. This is very, very interesting. We do have a quote that we're going to look at, and we also do have the paperwork as well that we're going to breeze through here real quick. So let's take a look at this, okay? So she's saying that Baldoni's breaking the law by suing her. That's a new one for me. I've never heard this before in my life. This is a new one, okay? But let's get into this. Blake Lively is following the same game plan as her husband. I'm sure they're using the same lawyers. I mean, sure, right? Her husband, if you didn't know, is Ryan Reynolds, officially asking the judge to cut her out of Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. So Blake filed her motion to dismiss Thursday. And according to the docs, she says Justin Baldoni actually violating the law by filing his lawsuit against her because it's all being done for revenge. Retaliation, guys. Real talk. It's done for revenge? Maybe not. But she could try it. She could show as hell try. I mean, I feel like Ryan Reynolds has a little bit more leeway, given the fact that it's like, hey, I'm exercising my First Amendment right, my constitutional right for free speech, and all that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like trying to say that Ryan Reynolds is not the bad guy. I'm not Team Ryan Reynolds, okay, here. But what I do know is that his argument could stand a little bit better in court. This, I don't know. The fact that she's saying, well, he's just doing this out of revenge. I don't, does that stand in court? Can that stand in court? I don't know. But keep the comments going down below in the family chat. Let's continue though. She says it ends with us co-star, and I guess you could loosely say director, because she basically hijacked the movie. Let's not forget that. Only filed his defamation lawsuit against her, Ryan, and her publicist after Blake filed her lawsuit alleging he had SH'd her while making the movie and launched a smear campaign when she reported the alleged attacks or approach, those unwanted approaches, okay, to the studio. But what's interesting about this, if you really think about it, let's break it down. She files this lawsuit, destroys the hundreds of multi-million dollars that he had coming to in his direction, right? He gets fired from the talent agency that was representing him, all that stuff. He becomes a Hollywood pariah, blacklisted, virtually right in front of us in real time. He has grounds to file a defamation lawsuit. It clearly shows, hey, she went out here, she threw this whole thing, gave all this information to the New York Times. There was a huge smear campaign about that. They tried to, they did, and they successfully destroyed his career. So I can see grounds for filing a defamation lawsuit. Retaliation? I think not. This is because of what she filed and what she put out there in the New York Times, letting everybody know about all the dirty stuff, whether it's true or not. So I could see him doing this in reaction to the lawsuit and the smear campaign that she concocted before his defamation lawsuit even existed. Let's keep it a bean, right? So again, I'm like, I don't know if this is really retaliation. This is him going, hey, you destroyed my name. I can't work anymore. Defamation, right? But moving on, Blake says under California law, Justin is barred from suing her based on her accusing him of SH, which is why she wants the judge to dismiss his suit against her. I don't think it's going to stick, guys. I really don't. Because you got to remember, this SH, then the smear campaign, which is clearly being shown that it was all concocted, put together by New York Times and Blake Lively for sure, and probably Ryan Reynolds as well, to destroy this man's name. It was there to literally to viciously destroy this man's name. This was made out of malice for sure. This is not them just filing the lawsuit and somebody finding out and then posting it in the news. You see what I'm saying? So again, miss me with the nonsense. In the new docs, Blake's lawyers say Justin and his company, Wayfarer Studios, have created more liability for themselves by their malicious efforts to sue Miss Lively into oblivion. That liability will come in the form of a lot of money. Blake says Justin will have to pay her legal fees plus massive damages for having filed this kind of suit against her. Blake also addresses the narrative, the mean girl narrative, okay, that Team Baldoni has put out, claiming Blake and Ryan are using their A-list Hollywood power to be mean to him. Okay, I can't use that word too much. All right. According to the docs, it's actually Justin doing the bullying with a lawsuit designed to further Baldoni's sinister campaign to bury and destroy Miss Lively for speaking out about SH and retaliation. Man, see, like I said, her allegations and that lawsuit and that smear campaign from the New York Times is the thing that launched all of this. It's not the other way around. But again, let's not forget, they're going to see it their way, and they're going to try to move the goalpost as best as they can so that they come out as innocent as possible, and Justin Baldoni continues to look like an a-hole. That's literally what's going on here. All right. And let's not forget, Ryan Reynolds did file his own motion to dismiss earlier this week, which we talked about on this platform. Okay. And he called him weak, basically. But his is based more on his belief he's merely expressed opinions about Baldoni while defending Blake. In fact, he calls Justin thin-skinned, let's not forget that, for not being able to handle the criticism. Well, I think to each their own, and I can see, to a certain extent, like, hey, I'm just making jokes. I have every right to say what I want to say. But at the same time, though, I don't know. If you're out here putting out words, putting out things like this, you created a whole character, nice pool, to try to destroy this man in this very, very strange and passive aggressive way. That you put it out there, he could use it. It'll be up to the judge to make a decision on if it's worthy enough to be put into the trial, right? If this does see the inside of a courtroom, because it seems like more and more we're slowly starting to trickle down the avenue of a possible settlement here. And if that's the case, that would be very, very interesting. But again, let me share with you guys this little quote here and this is what one of Blake Lively's one of Blake Lively's lawyers or her lawyers said to Us Weekly. This lawsuit is profound abuse of the legal process. Okay. And they're basically saying that this is a meritless, basically just a ridiculous attempt at a lawsuit, which is very interesting in my personal opinion. Okay. But let's take a look at this. All right. It says here from Blake Lively versus, and this was filed today. Okay. So a notice of a consolidated defendant, Blake Lively's motion to dismiss the amended complaint and for related relief. So consolidated defendant Blake Lively hereby moves to dismiss the amended complaint with prejudice and without leave to amend pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12b-6, moves to strike Exhibit A to the amended complaint, all right, pursuant to the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure, and moves for an award of attorney's fees, treble damages, and punitive damages pursuant to this particular civil code. Moving on. In support of this motion, Ms. Lively respectfully submits the accompanying memorandum of law and declaration of Ezra A. Hudson with supporting Exhibit 1. Again, they want to get out, okay? Blake Lively wants out of this lawsuit. And I'm telling you right now, does she? I don't think she has grounds to be able to be dismissed from this lawsuit. She created the lawsuit. Then she went to New York Times. There was a huge smear campaign about destroying Justin Baldoni. That is enough. That's grounds enough for someone to go forward and say, this is defamation. But then it was also the reaction. He lost jobs. He lost his representation. The agency, William Morris Endeavors, dropped him. He was basically stamped with this scarlet letter right on his forehead. How's he going to be able to bounce back from this, in a proper way? Again, to me, there's grounds for defamation. There's grounds to be sued for defamation here, for sure. So it's going to be interesting what happens here. I think she's a little nervous about things. That's what I think too. I think she's very concerned, and she just doesn't want to get into the mucky muck, because as soon the internet sleuths are already doing what they do, right? They're already digging. They're already pulling out all kinds of stuff and unearthing all this old stuff. She's looking worse than ever right now. So maybe she's trying to get out of this thing so that maybe it doesn't get worse before she walks into this courtroom. But we'll see all about that, okay? But what say you guys on this whole situation? This is very interesting. She wants out. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button, and we'll talk soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.